I first met Dave Flynn at Bernardo Yerba Middle School when I was visiting a fellow teacher in instrumental music. Dave and I worked together at El Dorado High School. When he came there as the activities director, I was already the band director at El Dorado. And he was wonderful to work with, very professional, but very sincere and honest when dealing with him, and just had some great times.
I met Dave in 1996 at El Dorado High School. He was an assistant principal and I started working there. He left the next year for Esperanza, and in 98 I actually moved over to Esperanza and have worked for him ever since.
Well, I was a teacher and dean at Esperanza High School, and in the middle of the year Dave showed up as our assistant principal. I'll never forget the first time I met him. I met him at the mailbox. He said, "Hello, sir." And he continued to call me sir for the next 6 months. And I'm not sure if he ever learned my name in those 6 months, but he made me feel great because he called me sir.
Dave Flynn and I met in 1997 when he was the newly appointed principal of Esperanza High School. I've known him for 23 years.
So I first met Dave Flynn when I came to interview for the activities director position at Esperanza High School. Dave was the principal there, and my good friend Jennifer was the outgoing activities director.
Dave Flynn has taught me so many things over my career, but most importantly, when you bring a problem to Dave, he looks at it from all sides. He doesn't make rash decisions. He really uses his wisdom to thoughtfully reflect on things and consider every angle, from the students to the staff to the parents, the community. That thoughtful reflection is something that I've learned from Dave Flynn.
Being an artsy person, I tend to react emotionally a little too fast, and Dave is very good at giving some different perspectives and different ways to resolve an issue or a problem.
Then Dave became principal the next year, and the whole school changed. Dave was in control, and he did it in such a way that he commanded your respect, he treated you with respect, and you just wanted to you just wanted to work with him and be part of his team, and because he just made you feel so valued in what he did.
I've learned from Dave. He's helped me in my career in watching him and how he deals with people on a daily basis. He loves being around the students, the staff. He's always out there intermingling, talking, asking the kids how they're doing.
Seeing Dave in action and seeing the way Dave interacted with his staff, the way he cared for his community, the way he loved kids, that inspired me to become a principal.
You know, Dave was a model administrator for me. I was a young administrator, and there are really two things that stood out. Number one is that he found joy in everything he did. And I can still remember this day, as whether I was a superintendent or whether I was an assistant principal working with Dave. I would say, "How are things going?" And he would always say, "Fun, fun, fun." And those three words just always stood out, that he was able to find the positive in everything.
When Dave was named principal at Yorba Linda, I remember I decided I have to apply. I want to go and I want to work with this guy. I didn't know much about what he was hoping for the community, but as I heard his vision and I heard him say, "I want to get every kid connected to their high school experience," I realized that was the school I wanted to be part of.
You know, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience to open a new high school with Dave. He made us feel like we were part of the process. He asked for our ideas. He bought us hard hats.
As superintendent, even prior to that, when I was assistant superintendent, I was given the responsibility of working with Dave to open Yorba Linda High School. And that was a challenge beyond most people's ability. But the one thing I always knew is that Dave was there in charge. And we actually had to open up the high school a year later. And so Dave had 2 years to do that job, and obviously the results were amazing.
My favorite personal memory of Dave is probably listening to him talk about his family and his grandkids. He loves to go down to San Diego and surprise his little grandkids with Donut Day. And he has a brand new grandson that he'll be able to see a lot more often now, and is looking forward to doing Donut Day with that grandchild.
I think the biggest thing that my dad instilled upon me is just be patient. People will make mistakes in life. People will be successful in life. You just kind of take everything as it goes, and everything's a learning process. And as long as you can take every negative or every positive and flip it around and move forward from it, and just learn from it, I think that's the biggest thing. I hope to instill that upon my son now. Obviously, he's a little young now to understand values or ethics or the work ethic that I hope to instill upon him one day.
Hard to narrow it down, but I think the biggest thing personally that he passed on, or that he exhibited, that I try to carry on, is just being nice to people, just be kind. And whether it's from the smallest compliment to bringing staff, coffee and some treats for a morning meeting at school, just it's the little things that make a big difference. And just really treat people with respect, treat them well, and overall, just be a good human being.
Dave's friendship over the years, I just learned so much from Dave. He tells stories about his mom, or how he secretly spoils the grandkids, or how he goes to the river with his kids. All of Dave's stories are about love and care. And that's what I learned from Dave personally, is how to love and care for people.
Dave's friendship to me has been both professional and personal. We have been there for each other during many personal issues that we've both gone through, and we enjoy quoting old movies with certain situations, and we'll be friends to the end.
I didn't have a dad growing up, and Dave was a very strong male role model in my life, and he's somebody who really pulled me into his life and allowed me to be part of his kids' lives and his personal life. But he also cared for me, and working for Dave really helped me grow into a strong leader. It helped me become a stronger dad.
Definitely growing up at the river was just a tremendous opportunity, and it's a lot of fun. Riding motorcycles and just going on the boat, learn to water ski. He taught us to water ski, kneeboard, tube, and so it's just definitely very fond memories going out the river with my dad.
Always having him home for the holidays and on the weekends with his school schedule was nice, as I remember spending that with him. But it wasn't your stereotypical, I think, authoritarian kind of principal atmosphere. He was very playful, loved the rough house. And with all my brothers and so forth growing up, it was it was a great environment. I think I look back and there's a lot of different things that I think about and kind of look back and what was kind of one thing that set him apart from being a principal versus just your regular dad. And I can't really pinpoint one thing. I think it was he was just like any other dad out there, loved his kids and really instilled upon us the values that made me successful today.
But I also remember a couple other times when we were in Palm Springs for our management retreat, and the counselors again were complaining that they were hungry late at night, and so Dave took us in his big truck to drive through In-N-Out and get us hamburgers and fries late at night.
I want to tell you that the reason for this bass drum is that I learned very early, being a friend of Dave's, that he played in the band at Anaheim High School when he attended that school, and he played the bass drum. So we always had a friendly connection that way, because I am also a percussionist drummer.
In speaking of valuing others, when I left Esperanza and went to El Dorado, they had a party for me, and Dave was there, and he spoke, and he said these words to me. He said, "I will work for you." And those words have stuck with me forever, because he saw something in me that I did not see. And he had confidence in me that probably at that time I didn't have. But he saw me moving on to bigger and larger responsibilities. And the fact that this man, who had been a principal and a person that I admired, would say those words to me has stuck with me my entire career.
His work ethic is by far, obviously, I think the biggest thing that I've looked to and moved forward with my profession. It's just nonstop. It's always looking back to, find something that you love to do and find something that you're passionate about, and it'll stop being a job in life and it'll be more something that you enjoy going to do.
But the other thing that I learned from Dave in all my years working with him is that he valued others. He valued his staff. He treated them with dignity and respect. And he loved and valued his students. And that's what drove him. I can't imagine working as a high school principal as long as Dave did, but it was because he found such great joy and he valued the people that he worked with. And that's what stood out to me.
Well, I'd like to say to you that my favorite professional memory of Dave is watching him give a speech at our first graduation or a speech at the dedication, all the care he always shows for everybody. But I've got to say my professional memory of Dave is going to be watching him over the last 10 months and all we've had to deal with. On March 13th, they shut the school down and everybody had to go online. And a lot of people didn't even know how to do that, to teach that way. And Dave was so caring about our staff and our students. He came to work every single day and sat at that desk every single day to make sure that he was here if we needed him.
Professionally, I admire Dave so much for the way he treats the staff. He believes in that one-on-one communication in a world of texts and emails. He's going to go out and talk to you face to face.
Professionally, his work ethic, I don't think can be denied, is just outstanding, to say the least. And such a great example for students all the way up to his staff about how hard he works and how serious he takes his work and how much he cares and loves what he does.
He then led us last June in 98-degree weather through an 8-hour drive-by graduation that went off great.
But there's a lot of things that Dave does, and it's really the way that he cares for people is the way that I hope to model the way I care for my staff. And I think that goes a long way no matter what, because relationships matter.
Dave, for you, I hope that you can find the joy in your retirement that you find in coming to work every day.
I know you've like I said, I don't even call it work, because for you it hasn't been work the last 44, 45 years here in education, and it's just an outstanding accomplishment, and you've earned this time to spend more with your family and your friends, and a little bit of relaxing as well, maybe an extra nap in there. We're looking forward to spending more time with you. I know that for a fact, and I'm sure you're looking forward to spending more time with your new grandson and your other grandkids as well.
My well wish for you, Dave Flynn, is for everything that you have done for others. I pray those blessings will come back tenfold to you in retirement.
Dave, I am truly grateful for everything that you have given to this district, your lifelong friendship, and I just know that you're going to find great joy in your retirement. Always look forward, look to the future, because there's great things ahead.
You deserve this. It is your time to retire. You know that I've been bugging you for years now to retire and pull the plug. There is no one that I know in my life that is more deserving of a retirement. You have spent your lifelong 45 years. I've seen the lives that you've changed, not only at El Dorado, for example, at Esperanza, but now building and opening this beautiful school. So there is no one in my life that I believe deserves more to retire and enjoy and really spend some time to yourself, right? You deserve it.
My hope for you, my friend, is that you continue just to love life. You have worked so hard and you have impacted so many young people. Now it's the time for you simply to enjoy those things that you enjoy in life. Dave, I love you and I wish you the very best.
Dave, you should be very proud of the career you've had in education for 45 years. especially the opening of this magnificent high school and the culture you have created with the students and the staff and the community here at Yorba Linda. And mostly, I want you to feel proud of what you've done. I know that's not you, but I want you to be very proud of it. You're a very special friend, and I value our friendship greatly, and I wish you nothing but the best. Go, Dave, go!
And that's all I have to say about that.